What is the number one biggest waste of marketing spend for local business owners in today's digital environment? Hi, I'm your host, Caitlin Shanuda, and this is Foot Traffic Framework. Hi, I'm Caitlin Shanuda. I'm a local business marketing coach, and this is part 2 of a 5-part series about the biggest problems in marketing for local businesses in today's day and age. We're going to talk about something really important, and I see a lot of business owners wasting a lot of their time and especially money with this particular problem. So today's topic is not going to be about digital channels. The biggest waste of money in today's digital environment for local businesses is actually local offline marketing. Specifically, desperate media businesses, everything from EDDM, so that is, direct mail, flyers, coupons, like that sort of thing, radio, billboards, pretty much anyone trying to sell you something, saying that they're showing your ad to a local audience is a huge expense, and for most local businesses, a complete waste of money because it is not getting you any ROI and it's not driving any foot traffic. So let's break it down. There are several big reasons why these channels are not successful for local businesses anymore. The first one is, pretty well known, right? Like, it is actually the most expensive place to spend your marketing budget in today's day and age. And it is something where you're spending an awful lot of money to get onto a billboard, onto a radio ad, into people's mailboxes, like physical mailboxes, not email inboxes. And, it costs these companies a lot of money to produce these, what I call like pretty static advertising, right? Like, you print something on a billboard or a piece of paper, you can't change that. That is what it is. So if for some reason it doesn't work to drive foot traffic, you can't go back. The only thing you can do is spend a bunch of money on the next installment of that magazine or print ad or billboard or whatever. So that is the biggest reason why they are so much more expensive than digital, is because once they're finalized, they're done. You can't change them, you can't tweak them, you don't get to test these things. You just have to kind of put it out there and pray that it works. Okay, second reason that they are just insanely expensive compared to other marketing channels is they're not targeted. If you're trying to get something into the hands of every single address in a zip code, how many of those people are your customers? And now I know half of you are sitting there and you're saying, well, everybody in my zip code should be my customer. I hear you, and I respectfully disagree. Here's why. Just because someone lives within a certain radius of your business does not make them one of your VIP customers. We have to be very targeted about who we're talking to and making sure that they really understand why your business is special to them. This is a central part of a successful marketing plan in today's day and age. You can't just spray a bunch of flyers or a magazine or a billboard and hope that every single person who sees it is going to become a customer. Here's why. 5-10 years ago, when, things like billboards, radio, flyers, any sort of these like local marketing tactics were more prevalent, it used to be that 95% of your success with marketing was your targeting. So like, if you could just get things into the hands of locals, a certain percentage of them were going to become customers. 5% was your message, right? People have become so much more sophisticated. The AIs and algorithms on social media of the whole world have changed consumer behavior. And so now 95% of your success with marketing is the message. So it's not enough to just try to put it out there and hope that people see it and hope that that turns into sales. It's not going to work. So you have to have a very targeted strategy and a targeted message that gets the VIP customers for your business, gets their attention, if you want your marketing to work. And I'm sorry, but local media channels don't cut it with that anymore. Their whole thing is trying to reach as broad of an audience as possible. And so your business is ultimately just getting lost. The other big reason why your business is getting lost is, again, back to consumer behavior. Latest stats say that a consumer has to have seen a business an average of 11.6 times on at least 4 different channels before they make the decision to buy from that business. That is true of local businesses, it's true of online businesses, and if you are spending a huge amount of your budget on a single, print media, for example, and they see it once, how many of those people do you think are turning into customers? It is such a low ROI. It used to be somebody might see your coupon in a, coupon pack, or they would get your flyer in the mail or whatever, and they might actually be like, "Ooh, I should try that place," and they'd stick it on their fridge. You know what? That behavior has completely shifted. People are not doing that anymore. What they are doing is scrolling on their phones endlessly. And again, these local channels, they can be an amazing add-on once you have your digital marketing strategy dialed for your local business and it's working. Then that customer might see you in many, many, many places if you're targeting, creating this invisible fence around them that you need to do to get them to purchase. But that in and of itself as a one-off marketing effort isn't going to drive foot traffic, because consumers can't really see you, they're not paying attention to you, and we're not being targeted about who we're reaching. We are just kind of spraying it to whoever is in the radius that these channels are within. Okay, so those are the biggest reasons why it's not as effective with a marketing spend as something like a digital ad when you're thinking about, local paid media. But here's an even bigger reason, and I want you to really think about this. The businesses that are trying to get you to spend your money on ads on their platform, whether it's a billboard, radio, magazine, local flyer, mailer, anything out there that is like a true local physical ad, the businesses that are trying to get you to spend your money on those things, their objective is not to get your customer to buy from you. It is to get you to buy their ad from their business. I'm going to say that again. The biggest reason why this is a waste of your ad spend is because you are their customer. They don't care about your customer. Their job is done once you buy that ad, whether someone buys from you or not. This means they're not actually motivated to have that ad work for you, no matter what the salesperson you're talking to says to you about it. Okay? And deeper than that, they have the same problems you do. The consumer attention span, the changes in consumer behavior, getting people to actually pay attention to their media, it's so much harder than it used to be. This means that, they are actually working harder to sell you into it, but they have the same problems you have. They don't actually have consumers doing anything with their media. So these businesses, I hate to say it, it's not true of every single thing, but more often than not, the local channels, print is dying, radio is dying, everything is shifted to, basically on-demand content and people scrolling. And so their objective is to get you to spend your ad budget with them. And they're not necessarily working to drive any sales for the people that give them their ad budget. This is a really, really important nuance here, because ultimately, your objective as a business owner is to get local customers to come in and buy, right? Their objective is to get local businesses to spend money and buy. And so take this to heart. Just because it sounds really, really good and they're promising you that 10,000 people are going to see it every day does not mean it's going to do anything for your local business. Why? Because you need to have the proper targeting to reach the right customers and the proper messaging to get their attention. And we don't have any information about whether a billboard or an ad or a magazine or anything works or doesn't, other than just, 10,000 people saw it. Great. Did any of them actually react to it? What is the information that we put out there doing in terms of getting our customers' attention? We have no data coming back. All the business cares about is selling you, the idea that a lot of people are going to see the marketing they put out, but we don't have any idea why it doesn't work if for some reason we put out an ad and it doesn't work. So second reason, and it's really, really important, They don't care about your customers buying from you. They care about you buying from them. Huge, huge waste of money in today's environment. So the big thing to take away from these two ideas is, anything that is a one-off marketing tactic, right? Anything that says, this billboard is going to get you seen by X amount of people, or an empty promise of, we can hit every single household within a zip code, or anything like that. Like, most business owners are not seeing any sort of increase in sales from those methods, and they aren't understanding why they are working or not working. So the harsh reality is it's just so much more expensive to do this type of marketing, especially in today's day and age where you can have a digital campaign that you can actually have data back from very quickly and adjust if something isn't working. It's a lot different and just not as effective to just throw something out there, hope that consumers pay attention to it, and spend in most cases 10 times what it costs you to run something like a $5 a day Facebook ad, for example. And the harsh reality is that any of these channels that are actually any good at marketing are probably charging a lot of money to make it profitable for their business, right? And if they're not charging you a lot, they probably don't know any more about marketing than you do, right? Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. Someone who says that they can get, 1,000 eyes or 10,000 eyes on your business for $500 is probably winging it just like you are, right? And those people who don't have a proven track record of getting real ROI for their customers, like, they're not charging very much, so they're not worth, what they're charging you. Those who do have a track record of actually getting people in the door with their ads are probably charging $5,000, $10,000, like even $20,000 for an ad, which is obviously a huge investment for most brick and mortar clients. The bottom line here is, like, most local media channels are just as lost and desperate as you are, as you, the local business owner, are. And so it's not a good use of marketing spend for a local business, especially not as a singular channel, right? Like, if you reach a point where you're $1 million or $2 million business and you've scaled your digital ads and you understand exactly how to get your customer to take action, and then you add in some of these local channels, it can give you a boost. It's not going to get people in the door when you don't have enough foot traffic already. All right. So you're probably sitting there thinking, well, great, now, like, I just wasted all this money on all these channels and I still don't know what to do. And, like, how the heck do I actually get, foot traffic in the door? So here's what you need to do. You need a digital marketing strategy for a local business that does two things. First, we need a targeting system that is going to attract new customers. As I already mentioned, as you hear me say on so many of my videos, where are people spending their time? On their phones, on their computers. So your marketing has to be happening in the places where they're spending their time, especially if people don't know about you yet. So you need a targeting system, a paid ads system on digital channels to get local buyers' attention where they're spending their time, which is on their phones. Now, I teach this to my clients using Facebook ads because Meta is one of the least expensive and most effectively targeted platforms out there. It beats out every other platform I've used for both my business as well as hundreds of my clients' businesses in terms of getting results for a low ad spend. So that's the first thing. We need a paid ads framework for finding new customers, and that is how we get people to understand that your business exists and come in for the first time. Very, very central to a successful local business, right? Like, they've got to know you're there. They're spending their time on their phones. They're not paying attention to anything else in their environment in 99% of cases. Second thing we need for a successful marketing strategy is a way to keep those local customers coming back. And I call this building the invisible fence around your customers. So once someone interacts with your business for the very first time, we need a very special messaging framework to get them to give you their information. And like, this does work, right? Like, I hear so many business owners, they're like, well, nobody wants to give me their email. That's right, because you're asking people to give you their email. Nobody wants to give you their email. But if you have a messaging framework that gives them something they find very valuable in exchange for their email, they're going to give it to you every single time. And it's not a discount, okay? It is the thing that your business does for them that they really, really want. And so you need a special messaging strategy to get them to give you their information. And then we are utilizing things like email, social media posts, text messaging, any sort of kind of outreach on all these digital channels. We are building this fence around them, this invisible fence around them, so that they see your business as many times as possible. It builds, a lot of trust. People recognize your business, and it also makes sure that they can see you that 11.6 times on more than one platform. That is the average it takes a person to actually make a buying decision to come in and become a customer. And unfortunately, last thing to know here, right, is this 11.6 times in 4 different channels is as true of someone who has already purchased from you as it is for people that don't know about you yet. So just because they've come in, purchased from you once, does not mean that just because you sent them a flyer 6 months ago or they saw an ad that they're going to come back. And so this is exactly why your marketing strategy has to have those 2 pieces in place to make sure that your business is profitable and you're consistently driving foot traffic. So instead of any sort of, overhyped, overpromised, overpriced local print or, physical media, the thing to do to drive foot traffic in today's digital environment is to have that targeting system in place to get new eyes on your business, and then to be able to build that digital invisible fence around them so that they see you in as many places as possible on their phones where they're spending their time, so they keep coming back again and again and again. And this is exactly what I do and what Foot Traffic Framework is built for. So if you have questions or you would like to connect with my team and learn more about this, I've got a couple of free resources for you. Links are below. First and foremost, if you have not already, book your 15-minute foot traffic strategy call with my team. This is a completely free call. There's absolutely nothing for sale, okay? Keep your credit card in the freezer. I am not going to ask you for it. All this is a strategy call with my team to understand your specific situation and business so that we can point you in the right direction to build your marketing system the right way for your business. It is not one size fits all, okay? You have to have the right pieces in place, but every business is a little bit different. So making sure that you are having some direction about the right way to do this for your business, your community, your customer is the first step. And if you want to learn more about how to build this framework and really create marketing that gets results in today's digital environment, join my free Skool group. There's a huge amount of training and resources in there that are going to show you exactly what to do and walk you through the specifics of how to create that marketing strategy so you attract new customers and keep them coming back. Again, Caitlin Shanuda. This is Foot Traffic Framework, and connect with me using the links below and learn how to do this for your business.